All right, in the third phase of building our Ashi Waza, which can then be extrapolated out to building any of your throwing program, you want to also work with the man moving around. And you start very simply by you moving around him. And what we're doing is we're opening our hip and sliding away. So if we're in a static relationship, I'll go toward the camera first. The first action I do to him is just to close my hip and rotate right here. And I don't want to step way far out because that's more vulnerable to him doing things to me and blocking me out and messing me up. I really just want to rotate my hip, and the tighter I turn my hip in this way, so see my heel coming at the camera, the more that when I lift this next foot, the more it's going to tend to take him off in an open direction. So this really has a quality about it of loading and then taking him off for a lateral step he didn't plan to take. And so lateral movement and this turning around movement, which people see in kata as sort of a dragging kind of activity, it's not really a drag, it's a coiled spring opening and then a ride. And if you take that coiled spring ride, you'll have a whole different quality of feeling in your activity. At the end of that, we're just doing a little Ashi ride. We're coiling the spring, we're opening with our lead foot and letting his body do its natural thing, which is to step forward. And as it steps forward, we want to step with it. I want my foot to come down with his foot right there. Boom. So watch it again. Coil with it. Good. Now as my foot hits the ground, the next foot, which was that coiled spring foot, which happened to be landing just about an inch or two away from his foot, it's ready to pick up and do the standard foot sweep job. It's basically just going to touch it and coil as it always does. It's not anything different except the timing is different, because watch this, if I put my foot down and put my foot down, then his foot goes down, whoa, he gets to drive me over my foot. You see that? If I coil in and then I just put my foot down when I feel like it, oh, he gets me. But if I coil in and I wait for his step, I get him. And it's a waiting game, because it's going to take his body longer to translate off of his far leg than it is for you to just pick your foot up and drop it. So the temptation is you coil and you put your foot down. Don't do it. Don't do it. Hard part of this technique is that I coil, then this knee kind of waits around. My foot stays weightless, and I'm waiting for that to commit right there. Waiting for that foot to land before I put my foot down with it. Because when I do that, I get to own this. But if I am under the temptation to get my comfort back, I put it down early. Whoa! He's already on me. And I'm ass over tea kettle before I know it, if he knows what he's doing. So the big quality here is the timing of the feet. That you must be working right there, together. Right there. You're landing just after. Just after. You must not land before. And if you can do that, you can pick this other one up with great consistency. The sweep may be Ashi Arai, in which case it's coming here. It may be Harai Surikomiashi, depending on the angle, might be behind his other leg. That's okay too. It's just a straighter line and a little different timing in the action. If it comes way, way, way late, you don't really care about that either. I coil, I wait around with it, his foot travels, my foot finally shows up. It may be a Dayashi at the very end. That's quite possible too. And you don't really care too much. The main issue is not which ending you wind up with. The main issue is this little timing function right here. Boom. This leg, that leg. Waiting for his foot to hit the ground before I activate. That's the critical function. You want to drill that quite a lot. And you can work statically. You start, man, you're just static with the guy. And you sort of hold your elbow up and draw him around and whatnot, so that you can just feel the whole thing Kind of like the kata says, oh, we're doing like the Uchimata thing. Draw him around feeling. Big circular feeling. That's okay to start with. But once you've got the general idea down, I would say, no, let those arms come out of it. And you want to feel it all in your hips. Closing the hip, opening the hip, and waiting, pausing, going with, then launching your foot sweep. Will develop the timing you're looking for these real circular sort of engagements when everything's getting all spinning around. Human bodies are great at pushing on each other. They're great at pulling on each other. They're lousy at stepping sideways, actually. And they're really bad at going around in circles together. Kind of like the guys at the roller rink and the guy and the gal, and whee! We're really very bad at that compared to the other kinds of movement. Anytime the body is rotating in space, you're doing a fairly extraordinary set of calculations internally. There's a lot of special compensation having to go on to stabilize in those weak lines, and you have a remarkable vulnerability. So when you invite someone into a rotation, they're already in a very weak state without planning on being there. You enter deeply, you coil that hip, you don't pull him at all, you just open this next hip and his body takes off and everything starts to rotate. His body feels like, whew, it's got to rotate around. And as it does so, whoa, off to the races we go. It's one of the most consistent ways of developing that double foot sweep I've run into. So, you build the mechanism forward. You build the mechanism sideways. You build the mechanism coming off a curve. And that's phase 3 of building your Ashi Waza program. Thank you. Good.